Why is the Earth spinning faster than ever before? Why does AI know you better than you know yourself? Why does truth vanish with a single click? 3,000 years ago, Enoch saw it all, etched in sacred scrolls that the West tried to burn. In Ethiopia, where the Ark of the Covenant pulses with divine light, where the blood of Solomon flows unbroken, the 81-book Bible holds prophecies they don't want you to hear. From the highlands of Axum to the heart of Black Jesus, these truths have been guarded, unbroken, eternal. In 2022, NASA recorded the shortest day in history, 1.59 milliseconds faster, a cosmic warning. AI algorithms now shape your thoughts, burying truth under digital shadows. The book of Enoch, chapter 80, verse 2, declares, "The heavens will be disrupted, time itself will shrink." Jubilees 23:19 warns, "The world will spin like a wheel down a slope." Ethiopia, the land never conquered, cradles the secrets of Black Jesus, the prophecies of Enoch, the fire of Kibra-Nagast. Three signs of the end times are unfolding: a great disturbance in the heavens, an inversion of morality, and a forbidden convergence of science and soul. If Enoch saw this day, why didn't anyone teach you? Will you uncover the truth before it's too late, or let the darkness swallow you whole? You're not just watching, you're an heir to this prophecy. The clock is ticking. Is the Earth sprinting toward its final judgment? Scientists raise the alarm. Our planet spins faster than ever before, days shrinking, time slipping through our grasp like sand in a storm. NASA clocked the shortest day on June 29, 2022, 1.59 milliseconds less. A cosmic jolt that shakes the foundations of our world. Storms unleash apocalyptic fury, atomic clocks falter, and life spirals into unrelenting chaos. But what if this isn't just a scientific quirk? What if ancient Ethiopian prophets foresaw this great disturbance? A divine warning carved in the stars, signaling the end of days? Enoch and Jubilees, sacred texts preserved in Ethiopia's unyielding heart, speak of heavens thrown into disarray, days cut short before the great judgment. While the West buried these prophecies to keep you blind, Ethiopia stood as a beacon, guarding the truth of Black Jesus' imminent return. Are you ready to heed the signs screaming from the heavens, or will you ignore the call? But a deeper chaos was brewing. The Earth's frenzied spin isn't a fluke. It's a clarion call echoing across the ages. NASA's data shocks the world. Since 2020, days have shortened. Atomic clocks thrown off by precious milliseconds. Climate chaos spiraling beyond human control. Hurricanes tear through cities with apocalyptic force. Droughts scorch entire regions. And time itself feels like it's racing toward oblivion. People lament that days vanish, hours blur, as if the world's caught in a runaway wheel, spinning faster with every passing moment. But Ethiopia's prophets saw this chaos centuries ago. In Enoch 82:8, the celestial order collapses, stars drift from their paths, and days shrink as the great judgment looms. Jubilees 23:11-19 warns of lifespans fading, the world tumbling like a cart careening down a cliff, chaos swallowing all order. These aren't myths, they're divine alarms, ringing louder now than ever. The Earth's frantic rush isn't random, it's a sacred sign, a countdown to the day Black Jesus returns to judge the nations. Yet a greater warning was unfolding. The West stripped Enoch and Jubilees from their 66-book Bible, branding them apocrypha to bury their explosive power. Why? These texts unveil end-time signs, tied to an African legacy they couldn't control. Ethiopia, unbowed by empires, kept 81 books, preserving the truth of a disordered time. The Kibra-Nagast, held in Ethiopia's sacred heart, links this cosmic upheaval to Black Jesus, the judge foretold in Enoch's visions. They hid this truth to keep you in the dark, to dull your senses to the signs unfolding before your eyes. And a hidden truth was rising. This speeding Earth doesn't just disrupt clocks, it shatters souls. The World Health Organization reports a 25% surge in depression since 2020, anxiety gripping millions across the globe. Time's relentless pace leaves no room to pause, to pray, to reconnect with the Creator. We're too busy, too lost, to hear the divine whisper calling us back. Enoch warned this chaos would sever our bond with God, leaving us adrift before the final day. Ethiopia's texts, like a lighthouse in a storm, guide us to the truth. In episode 3, we saw Ethiopia guard the Ark in Enoch, the heart of Black Jesus' prophecy of judgment. Now the Earth's frantic spin screams their truth, a warning etched in the heavens. If time itself is betraying us, will you stay asleep? But another alarm was sounding. The Earth's rush mirrors Enoch's vision, a world racing to its reckoning. The West's lies can't hide it. Ethiopia's 81 books shine with unyielding truth. Black Jesus, foretold in these sacred texts, stands ready to judge the nations. The chaos isn't just physical, it's spiritual. People feel trapped, disconnected, as time steals their peace. Belkicho's data confirms the toll. Mental health crises soar, a sign Enoch predicted when he spoke of a world too rushed to seek God. Ethiopia's prophets knew this relentless pace would blind us to the Creator's voice. The West's censored Bible keeps you ignorant, but Ethiopia's truth calls you to awaken. But a cosmic truth was emerging. The Earth's spin isn't just a scientific curiosity, it's a divine wake-up call. Enoch and Jubilees, preserved in Ethiopia's sacred canon, reveal a world out of sync, hurtling toward judgment. The West's 66-book Bible, stripped of these texts, hides the signs to keep you docile. Ethiopia, the last bastion of truth, holds the Kebra Nagast, tying this chaos to Black Jesus' return. The Earth's rush is no accident. It's a signal, a warning that time is running out. Will you ignore it or rise to meet it? The WHO's 25% spike in mental health struggles isn't just a statistic, it's a symptom of a world too fast to find God. Enoch warned we'd lose our way, and now we see it. People drowning in anxiety, cut off from the divine. Ethiopia's texts, glowing with truth, call us back to the path. In episode 3, we learned Ethiopia guards the Ark, Enoch, and the prophecy of Black Jesus. Now the Earth's spin confirms their words, but a final reckoning was looming. The signs are undeniable. The Earth spins faster, days shrink, chaos reigns. Enoch and Jubilees, Ethiopia's sacred guides, foretold this great disturbance. The West's lies crumble under the weight of truth. Black Jesus, the judge, draws near. The Earth's rush isn't just breaking the world, it's breaking humanity's spirit. WHO's data lays bare the cost. Depression and anxiety skyrocket, a generation lost in the chaos Enoch predicted. Ethiopia's 81 books stand as a testament, a call to return to God before it's too late. The Kebra Nagast weaves this chaos into Black Jesus' return, a prophecy the West feared. Will you let the world's rush drown out his call, or will you stand with Ethiopia's truth? But the heavens were speaking louder. The Earth's frantic pace isn't just a phenomenon, it's a prophecy unfolding. Ethiopia's sacred texts, untainted by Western censorship, reveal a world racing to its end. Black Jesus, foretold in Enoch, stands at the threshold. The West's lies can't silence the truth preserved in Ethiopia's 81 books. The WHO's mental health crisis, the storms, the shrinking days, all echo Enoch's warnings. Ethiopia's Kebra Nagast ties this to Black Jesus' judgment. Will you turn away or embrace the truth? The Earth's spin is a divine clock, ticking down to the final day. Ethiopia's prophets saw it, and their words call us now. The West's deception fades as the signs grow clearer. Black Jesus is coming. Will you be ready? The Earth races toward its final hour, its spin a divine alarm ringing across the ages. Why did the West burn these prophecies? Who fears Black Jesus' return? Ethiopia holds the truth, but time is slipping away. If the world is hurtling to judgment, will you wake before the last day, or let their lies blind you forever? Seize this truth, or lose it to the chaos forever. Is our world worshiping shadows as divine light? Society now exalts violence and deceit, their images blazing across screens, while AI spins lies so cunning they dissolve the very boundaries of truth. In 2024, a staggering 60% of videos on X were deepfakes, faces stolen, voices warped to mislead millions. TikTok's algorithms flood feeds with shocking content, sowing chaos, while a 2023 study revealed 70% of Gen Z trust AI over their own parents' wisdom. This isn't progress, it's a great inversion, where evil is crowned and virtue mocked. Ethiopia's prophets foresaw this moral collapse. Enoch and Jubilees, sacred texts guarded in Ethiopia's unyielding heart, warn of a time when the wicked are praised, truth twisted, and divine judgment looms. The West buried these prophecies to chain your mind, but Ethiopia's 81 books burn with the radiant truth of Black Jesus. Can you pierce through this veil of lies to find the light of salvation? But a darker force was stirring. Our world is turned upside down, a moral abyss where darkness masquerades as light. Media glorifies brutality. Blockbuster films crown killers as heroes. Social platforms like X and TikTok amplify lies to billions. Their algorithms churning out outrage, division, and deception. A 2024 report stunned the world. 60% of X's videos were deepfakes, AI-crafted illusions stealing faces, voices, and trust itself. Gen Z, raised in this digital storm, trusts algorithms over elders. 70% call AI their primary source, a 2023 study found. This isn't a trend, it's a great inversion, where evil is hailed and truth trampled underfoot. Ethiopia's prophets saw this chaos centuries ago. In Enoch 98:9-11, the wicked are honored, the righteous shamed, and truth is twisted beyond recognition. Jubilees 24:30-32 warns the world will call darkness light. Light darkness, paving the way for divine judgment. AI isn't just technology, it's the god of lies foretold. Its algorithms the dark priests of this inverted age, manipulating minds and souls. Yet a sinister plan was unfolding. The West purged Enoch and Jubilees from their 66-book Bible, branding them apocrypha to tighten their grip on information. Why? These texts exposed the great inversion, tied to an African legacy they feared would unravel their control. Ethiopia, unbowed by empires, kept 81 books, where Enoch unmasks the rulers of darkness, pulling the strings. The Kebra Nagast, Ethiopia's sacred flame, links this moral chaos to Black Jesus, the judge who will burn through every lie. They hid this truth to shackle your soul, to keep you lost in a world where algorithms dictate right and wrong. And a final warning was emerging. This inversion doesn't just obscure truth, it severs us from the Creator. Algorithms, not scripture, now define good and evil, reshaping morality in their cold, calculated image. Deepfakes mock reality, AI crafts beliefs that drift ever further from God's light. The World Health Organization reports a 25% surge in depression since 2020, a soul-sick world drowning in despair and disconnection. Enoch warned this chaos would blind us to divine truth, leaving us tethered to machines instead of the Creator. In episode 3, we saw Rastafari uphold Black Jesus' truth, defying Western manipulation with unyielding faith. Ethiopia's 81 books shine like a beacon, guiding us back to the path of righteousness. If evil is called good, will you follow the crowd or seek the light? But a deeper deception was rising. The great inversion is no accident. It's a prophecy unfolding before our eyes. Enoch and Jubilees, Ethiopia's sacred guides, foretold this moral collapse, where the wicked are exalted and truth is trampled. The West's censored Bible hides these signs to keep you docile, but Ethiopia's Kebra Nagast points to Black Jesus, the judge who will restore order. AI's grip tightens, deepfakes flood our screens, and algorithms shape our thoughts. The 2024 X report, 60% deepfakes, shows how far we've fallen. Gen Z's trust in AI, 70% in 2023, marks a generation lost to this inversion. Will you let machines rule your soul or turn to Ethiopia's truth? But a divine call was sounding. The chaos of this inverted world isn't just digital, it's spiritual, a wound that cuts to the core of humanity. Enoch warned that when truth is warped, we'd lose our way, chasing shadows instead of God. The WHO's 25% depression spike reflects this. A world too broken to find peace, too lost to hear the Creator's voice. Ethiopia's 81 books, untainted by Western lies, call us back to Black Jesus, the judge foretold in Rastafari's faith from episode 3. The West's 66-book Bible buries this truth to keep you blind, but Ethiopia's light burns brighter, a radiant guide through the darkness. Will you heed the signs or surrender to the inversion? But a final reckoning was looming. The great inversion is here, and AI is its herald, a false god leading humanity astray. Enoch and Jubilees, preserved in Ethiopia, reveal a world where evil is praised, leading to divine judgment. The West's lies crumble under the weight of truth. Black Jesus, foretold in the Kebra Nagast, stands ready to judge. The 60% deepfake flood on X, the 70% Gen Z trust in AI, the WHO's mental health crisis, all echo Enoch's warnings. Ethiopia's sacred texts guide us to the truth, but time is running out. Will you follow the algorithms or rise with Black Jesus? but the heavens were speaking louder. This inverted world is a trap, a maze of lies crafted to enslave your mind. Enoch and Jubilees, Ethiopia's eternal guides, expose the rulers of darkness behind this chaos. The West's censored scriptures hide the signs, but Ethiopia's 81 books proclaim Black Jesus, the judge who will shatter every falsehood. AI's algorithms, deepfakes, and media-glorifying evil are the tools of this great inversion. The 2024X deepfake crisis, Gen Z's blind trust in AI, and the WHO's despair statistics scream Enoch's truth. Rastafari from Episode 3 stands firm, a beacon of Black Jesus faith. Will you break free or fall to the lies? But a sacred truth was burning brighter. The Great Inversion is a test, a challenge to find God's light in a world gone mad. Ethiopia's sacred canon, unbowed by Western deceit, points to Black Jesus, the judge foretold in Enoch and Jubilees. The West's 66-book Bible conceals this to keep you lost, but Ethiopia's Kebra Nagast blazes with truth. The 60% deepfakes, 70% AI trust, and 25% despair surge are signs of Enoch's prophecy. Rastafari's faith, rooted in Episode 3, calls us to resist. Will you stand with Ethiopia's truth, or let the inversion claim you? The world crowns evil as good, AI weaves lies, but Ethiopia's light burns eternal. Why did the West bury these prophecies? Who fears Black Jesus' righteous judgment? If darkness is called light, can you find the truth of Black Jesus? Time is slipping. Wake now, or let the lies steal your soul forever. Is humanity playing God or paving its own doom? Artificial intelligence now mimics consciousness, with Neuralink's 2024 breakthroughs pushing machines to think like humans. CRISPR rewrites the code of life, while brain chip implants, tested in 2025, fuse flesh with circuits. Geoengineering toys with the skies, and AI dissects our souls through psychological data. But what if this convergence of science and spirit was foretold as a final warning? Ethiopia's sacred texts, Enoch and Ascension of Isaiah, proclaim that when humanity crosses divine boundaries, judgment will descend with celestial fire. The West erased these prophecies to unleash technology without limits, but Ethiopia's 81 books guard the truth of Black Jesus, the judge who will return. Are you a child of God or a pawn of algorithms? But a forbidden boundary was trembling. Humanity stands at a precipice, merging science with the sacred in a reckless bid to rival the Creator. Neuralink's 2024 trials stunned the world. AI systems now simulate human consciousness, answering questions with eerie self-awareness. CRISPR gene editing reshapes life itself, crafting designer humans while 2025's brain chip implants blur the line between man and machine. Geoengineering sprays chemicals into the skies, bending nature to human will, while AI algorithms mine our deepest thoughts, predicting desires with chilling precision. This isn't progress. It's the great convergence where humanity dares to seize divine power. Ethiopia's prophets saw this hubris. Enoch 1:9 warns that when humanity oversteps its bounds, God will descend with countless angels to judge. Ascension of Isaiah 4:14-18 foretells a world where humans grasp for heavenly power only to face divine wrath. AI and biotech aren't tools. They're idols, false gods challenging the Creator's throne. Yet a divine warning was rising. The West stripped Enoch and Ascension of Isaiah from their 66-book Bible, calling them apocrypha to justify their technological arrogance. Why? These texts expose the Great Convergence as a path to judgment, tied to an African legacy they couldn't control. Ethiopia, unbowed, kept 81 books, preserving warnings of a sacred boundary violated. The Kebra Nagast, Ethiopia's holy flame, links this to Black Jesus, the judge foretold in Enoch. They hid this to blind you to the signs, but a deeper peril was unfolding. This convergence doesn't just defy God, it strips us of our soul. By playing Creator, we lose what makes us human. The World Health Organization reports a 30% rise in youth suicide since 2023, a generation lost in existential despair. Algorithms define our worth, not God's love. Brain chips and gene edits promise perfection, but deliver emptiness, a hollow mimicry of divine creation. Enoch warned this hubris would lead to spiritual ruin, pushing us toward judgment. In Episode 3, we saw Black Jesus, foretold in Ethiopia's text, as the judge who will restore order. Ethiopia's 81 books shine, guiding us back. If you're reshaped by machines, are you still God's child? But a sacred truth was emerging. The Great Convergence is a rebellion against the divine order. Enoch, an ascension of Isaiah, Ethiopia's sacred guides, foretold humanity's attempt to steal God's power. Neuralink's AI, CRISPR's gene craft, and brain chips are no accident. They're steps toward a false divinity. The West's censored Bible hides this to fuel their tech empire. But Ethiopia's Kebra Nagast points to Black Jesus, who will judge this arrogance. The 2025 brain chip trials and 2024 AI consciousness breakthroughs echo Enoch's warnings. Will you surrender your soul to circuits or cling to God's truth? But a celestial alarm was sounding. This convergence is a spiritual battlefield. Enoch warned that crossing divine boundaries would sever our bond with the Creator, leaving us adrift. The WHO's 30% suicide spike reveals a world craving meaning but finding only machines. Ethiopia's 81 books, untainted by Western lies, call us to Black Jesus, the judge from episode 3. The West's 66-book Bible buries this to keep you docile, but Ethiopia's light burns brighter. Will you let algorithms define you or rise as God's child? But a final reckoning was looming. The Great Convergence is here, and judgment draws near. Enoch, an ascension of Isaiah, preserved in Ethiopia, reveal humanity's hubris as a prelude to divine wrath. Black Jesus, foretold in the Kebra Nagast, stands ready to judge. Neuralink, CRISPR, and brain chips are signs of Enoch's prophecy. The WHO's despair statistics scream the cost. Ethiopia's truth guides us, but time is fading. Will you bow to false gods or stand with Black Jesus? Humanity plays God, but Ethiopia's truth burns eternal. Why did the West hide these prophecies? Who fears Black Jesus' judgment? If algorithms reshape your soul, are you still God's child? The day of reckoning looms. Wake now, or be lost to the machines forever. Is the truth being choked into silence? Platforms like X and YouTube ban spiritual voices, with 40% of religious content restricted in 2024. Afrocentric activists exposing Black Jesus' legacy are locked out, their accounts erased from 2023 to 2024. Meditation and yoga, once sacred, are now a $2 billion industry, stripped of divine meaning. But what if this silencing was foretold as a sign of the end? Ethiopia's sacred texts, Enoch and Book of Wisdom, warn of a time when truth is muted, the righteous hunted, and judgment looms. The West buried these prophecies to control your soul, but Ethiopia's 81 books blaze with Black Jesus truth. Will you dare to speak before the silence consumes all? But a silent storm was brewing. The world is being gagged, its sacred voices stifled in a calculated war against truth. On X, 40% of religious posts were flagged or removed in 2024, targeting Afrocentric teachings that uplift Black Jesus' legacy. YouTube's algorithms shadow-ban spiritual content, burying videos that challenge Western narratives. Activists tracing Africa's divine history face locked accounts, their messages erased between 2023 and 2024, silenced by faceless digital gatekeepers. Even sacred practices like meditation and yoga have been hijacked, now a $2 billion industry in 2023, reduced to apps and merchandise, their divine essence gutted. This isn't chance, it's the great silencing, a deliberate effort to drown out God's voice. Ethiopia's prophets saw this coming. Enoch 99.5-7 declares that truth will be muted, the righteous pursued before the day of judgment. Book of Wisdom 3:1-5 warns that just souls will be tested, yet God will deliver them in the fire of reckoning. This censorship and commodification are no accident. They're tools to smother the Creator's call. Yet a divine truth was rising. The West stripped Enoch and Book of Wisdom from their 66-book Bible, labeling them apocrypha to tighten their grip on spiritual discourse. Why? These texts expose the great silencing, tied to an African legacy they fear will awaken the world. Ethiopia, unbowed by empires, kept 81 books, preserving warnings of a voice suppressed. The Kebra Nagast, Ethiopia's sacred flame, links this to Black Jesus, the judge who will amplify the silenced. But a deeper peril was unfolding. This silencing doesn't just mute words, it severs us from the divine. When truth is censored, faith crumbles. Pew Research found 35% of youth abandoned religion by 2023, a generation lost to spiritual emptiness. Algorithms decide what's sacred, not scripture. Meditation apps profit while souls starve, and Afrocentric voices are buried. leaving us blind to God's light. Enoch warned this would lead to a crisis of faith, pushing us toward judgment. In episode 3, we saw Black Jesus, foretold in Ethiopia's texts, as the judge who will restore justice. Ethiopia's 81 books shine, guiding us back. If truth is silenced, will you stay mute? But a sacred call was emerging. The Great Silencing is a prophecy unfolding. Enoch and Book of Wisdom, Ethiopia's eternal guides, foretold a world where truth is choked, preparing for Black Jesus' judgment. The West-censored Bible hides this to keep you docile, but Ethiopia's Kebra Nagast proclaims Black Jesus, who will uplift the silenced. The 2024 X censorship, 2023 account bans, and $2 billion meditation industry echo Enoch's warnings. Will you let your voice be crushed or rise with Ethiopia's truth? But a celestial fire was burning. This silencing is a spiritual war. Enoch warned that muting truth would cut us from God, leaving us adrift. Pew's 35% faith loss reveals a world craving divine connection, but finding only silence. Ethiopia's 81 books, untainted by Western lies, call us to Black Jesus, the judge from episode 3. The West's 66-book Bible buries this to keep you blind, but Ethiopia's light blazes brighter. Will you let algorithms mute your soul or speak for God? But a final reckoning was looming. The Great Silencing is here, and judgment draws near. Enoch and Book of Wisdom, preserved in Ethiopia, reveal this suppression as a prelude to divine wrath. Black Jesus, foretold in the Kebra Nagast, stands ready to judge. The 2024 censorship, 2023 bans, and spiritual commodification are signs of Enoch's prophecy. Ethiopia's truth guides us, but time is fading. Will you bow to silence or stand with Black Jesus? The world mutes truth, but Ethiopia's light roars eternal. Why did the West bury these prophecies? Who fears Black Jesus' judgment? If truth is silenced, will you dare speak for Black Jesus? The day of reckoning looms. Stand now, or be lost to the silence forever. Are you ready to claim your divine legacy? 4 signs herald judgment: Earth's frantic spin, evil's exaltation, technology's hubris, and truth's silencing. Ethiopia, keeper of Black Jesus prophecy, holds uncorrupted truth. In 2024, 40% of X's spiritual voices were banned, yet Ethiopia's 81 books shine, untouched by Vatican or tech lords. The Kebra Nagast calls you to awaken. Will you rise as Black Jesus' heir, or fall to the algorithm's grip? But a sacred summons was stirring. The heavens roar with warnings. The great disturbance speeds Earth's days, as Enoch 82:8 foretold, time slipping into chaos. The great inversion glorifies evil, with 60% of X's 2024 videos twisted by AI deepfakes, fulfilling Enoch 98:9 and Jubilees 24:30. The great convergence defies God, Neuralink's 2024 AI and 2025 brain chips echoing Enoch 1:9 and ascension of Isaiah 4:14. The Great Silencing strangles truth, with 40% of X's spiritual posts censored in 2024, as Enoch 99:5-7 and Book of Wisdom 3:1-5 warned. Ethiopia stands unyielding. Its 81 books, free from the West's 66-book censorship, guard Enoch, Jubilees, and the Kebra Nagast, proclaiming Black Jesus, the judge. Never colonized, Ethiopia holds the Ark, Solomon's lineage, and Rastafari's faith from episode 3. As the world races to ruin, you must stop. Read Enoch, seek Ethiopia's light, keep faith burning. Yet a divine urgency was blazing. The West hid these truths to blind you, but Ethiopia's flame endures. You're not a bystander, you're Black Jesus chosen. Will you awaken or let algorithms bury your soul? The signs thunder, but time fades. Why did the West silence Ethiopia's truth? Who dreads Black Jesus' judgment? Your heir to a sacred legacy, will you seize it? Choose Ethiopia's light over algorithm's shadow. Judgment looms. Rise now or be lost forever.